Hi, I'm Ivan.
And I'm Shawn.
And together we are the co-founders of
Quadrant.
So today we are going to be talking about this topic of HDB. So what has happened recently, right, is that HDB prices have gone up by 2.9% in the third quarter of this year, and the number of transactions is what? 19.4% higher.
That's insane, man. I mean, just for in context, right, 2.9% per quarter. You multiply that by 4, which means that it's 12% a year. Correct what? One quarter, 2.9%. 4 quarter means it's like 12%. Gains.
That's true.
That's pretty insane. Think about it. That's how fast the market is growing. Now, of course, we wanted to explore, is this something that is sustainable? Then one thing, and what's the main core reasoning as well for this particular increase? I think number one, of course, as we know, due to the pandemic and everything, shipment has been delayed for construction material. Construction material have gone up, right? Of course, then doesn't help that there is a very big construction firm in Singapore that's in charge of building 5 BTOs in Singapore that of course collapsed, alright, due to financial difficulty. Alright, all these factors of course just adds on pressure to the demand versus supply of housing in Singapore. And that being said, that puts on a strain on BTOs. And of course, that being said, of course, there's a big delay when it comes to BTO delivery.
I think what you're talking about is actually the supply constraints or the supply delays.
More demand than supply, supply delays.
So when I look at the demand side, right, I see the major trend of like working from home. And obviously this is caused by the whole COVID situation.
Of course,
right?
Yeah,
right now our default mode is work from home. So what's going to happen, right, is that with this whole work from home regime, right, I think more people want more space. More people demand more space for themselves, because I think a study room nowadays, right, is pretty important. Imagine like I have like 2 kids, right, at home, and they are like running around. I will need a separate space, right, to do my work, to do my Zoom calls and what so, right?
Yeah.
So in other words, right, demand is also going through the roof, right, when it comes to like need for more space.
Correct, exactly. So the key is this. I mean, number one, of course, when you talk about BTO delays, that's one, right? So of course, then most people will actually look at the resale market. Yeah, because they cannot wait. Who want to wait 5 years, 6 years just to get their HDB, right? And the end outcome is that imagine then they have to cram themselves in such a small space, right? And just to slowly upgrade after 5 to 6 years. By then maybe they cannot take it already, right? So the key thing is this, is that's why the resale market has really been on fire. I mean, just to quote the article, literally on fire. That means very hot, right? And that, because of that, of course, price increase as well. Now, what I want to look at it is this thing sustainable. Alright, are we going to see a continuous increase in HDB price in the next, let's say, few months to come or year to come? What do you think, Ivan?
I think is that maybe in the next 1 year, right, we'll still see an increase in HDB prices.
I think so too, yeah.
However, right, in the long run, that means like maybe 4 years, 5 years down the road, HDB prices will come down. And the whole reason being that the expected time for HDB, right, in the future will be 2.5 years to 3 years. And because of this, right, buyers will start to compare between buying a brand new BTO versus a property on the resale market. And if the BTO property prices are way lower compared to the resale, it's like a no-brainer to go for the BTO instead.
Yes. So I think a few factors to look at it would be, number one, would this delay in construction, is this something that is of temporary status, or is this a permanent status, right? Of course, that being said, I would definitely put it as a temporary status, because shipment will one day be as fast as it was previously. Okay, countries are starting to open up, right? And therefore, because of this, the wait for BTO moving forward, alright, will be shorter and shorter, and that is where people will then potentially focus back their attention into potential BTO as well. Alright, of course, number two, alright, we want to look at potentially also HDB price can only go up to a certain level. I mean, ultimately, we want to look at what is the country's policy on HDB. They want to ensure that HDB becomes as affordable as possible.
Exactly. Yeah. If HDB prices are getting way too high, right, then everyone will just choose to jump on to the next asset class, which is like EC or private properties.
Exactly, yeah. So therefore, I think one thing I just want to put the message out there as well. I think HDB is never meant to be an investment asset class. Okay, if you are buying HDB for literally just for your own family, your own stay, for your utility of it, then perhaps HDB might be suitable for you. But of course, you're looking and thinking that this is going to be a 3% per quarter increase for the next 5 years. You might be a bit disappointed, right? Because, guys, the government is doing an awesome job to make sure that the housing stays as affordable. It cannot be that all the HDB keep going up, at the rate is going up. Every single HDB will hit $1 million. Right? I mean that doesn't make sense. We also do not want that to happen for the country. I don't think it's healthy. Okay, and therefore, remember, if you are thinking of buying a HDB, just remember it's mainly not for investment purposes, but mainly to really fulfill your family needs for housing. If you are looking for investment, all right, then perhaps you might want to look at other asset classes, all right, such as maybe the private properties or even overseas property or even the stock market. Maybe that will be a better investment option.
So my take is that in the end, right, if you are considering to buy a HDB, right, I would rather go for the BTO, and I have to take in this whole delayed gratification, which is I have to wait for it, right, for it to complete. Otherwise, I may get hit with a lowering of the HDB market in the future.
Yeah, so just a fun fact for you guys, maybe something for you guys to think about. One of the main key concern will be this, is that, hey, you know what, my place now is really too small. How? All right, you go for BTO, have to wait like 4 years, 5 years. How? All right, perhaps maybe I want to change a little bit of your potential things that you can do.
Wow,
yeah?
bonus tip.
Bonus tip. This is called pro tip. Okay, you know what, guys?
Okay, before you talk about pro tip, right, if you are enjoying our video so far, make sure you give us a thumbs up and also subscribe to our channel, okay?
Okay, Zai, so pro tip for you guys, okay, if today your home is a bit too small, okay, one thing that I consider doing is, because the rental market is also pretty much at quite high. So why don't you consider, okay, renting out your current property, take the rental, and then to, of course, rent a bigger space. Because the reality is this, okay, if you look at the rental market between 3-bedder and 4-bedder, the price increase is only like maybe like $500, $600.
3-bedder, 4-bedder, or what?
And let's say for even either or. I mean, it could be looking at jumbo versus a 5-room HDB, or you could look at a 3-bedder condo versus a 4-bedder condo in the same development. Right? The dollar value increase for every additional 1 bed, right, is not the highest. It's low. Maybe I give a very simple example. Let's say this condominium, right, 1 bed maybe commands 2.3K rental for 1 bed. The 2 bed will likely be around like 2.8K to 3K. Then the 3 beds will likely be like 3.6K, 3.7K. Then the 4 beds will be like 4.1K to 4.2K. So you can see the increase is actually lower, smaller and smaller, right? Due to the fact that there is always a base pricing for 1-bedder, right? So a base pricing for 1-bedder versus the 4-bedders as well. So the key thing is this, is that, you know what? If you need a bigger space, okay, consider renting out a current place and then renting out a bigger place, or even better still, okay, if you believe in a multi-generation living like I do, okay, then perhaps you might even want to consider, hey, you know what, shifting in together with your in-laws or with your parents, okay. So what does this mean, right? You can even combine power, right? Rent out your parents' unit, rent out your unit, combine power, the renter, then rent even a landed property. Oh, you know,
the best choice is to directly buy the landed property for capital appreciation. But
if that's not an option for you guys due to capital restraint, then perhaps that's something that you want to consider as well. Therefore, right, so there are so many possibilities to go about it. All right, if you want to solve a particular problem of so-called not enough space, all right. But my advice would be this: is that once again, you're thinking of buying the HDB and thinking you're going to make loads of capital appreciation because the market is going up higher and higher and higher, all right, then my advice, perhaps you might want to look at a different direction.
So guys, I hope you gain a lot of perspective, right, and like different ways of doing things from this video. So once again, if you like it, subscribe, okay, and give us a thumbs up. So once again, I'm Ivan,
I'm Shawn,
and we are Quadrant. Bye.